Hello and welcome, bookworms. Welcome to this week's episode of The Content and Narrative. We are looking at Ronald Malfi, Little Girls, or Little Girls by Ronald Malfi. Now, I have done another Malfi on this channel, and so this is the second one that I've read by him, and it was very good. It was very twisty. It was very turning. So essentially what happens is Laurie Janeiro loses her father. So her father passes away, but he's been battling with dementia, Alzheimer's, and he'd been battling with that for a while. So then she goes out, and he's thrown himself through a window and he's killed himself. So she goes out to deal with the estate and basically sells it to get it done as quickly as humanely possible so she can get back to her life with her husband and her daughter. And she brings her husband and her daughter out with her. And essentially, sorry, I got hair in my mouth. Apologies, eating my own hair. So essentially what happens is it's a little bit of a sort of got a little supernatural thing to it. So she starts hearing things, and then her little girl starts hanging out with someone who looks exactly like a child that died when she was a kid that she knew. And they sort of like build on this, and then, you know, it's like she's sort of spiraling and she's losing her mind a bit. And it was very, very well written. And as you sort of like start putting things together, and it's like, is this Sadie or is this Abigail? So Sadie's the one that she knew as a kid, and Abigail's the one that her daughter's hanging out with. So she's like, is this Sadie? Is this Abigail? Is the past coming back to bite her? Was it suicide, or was the past like coming back to bite her father? Like her father, was he driven to insanity? Like what happened? And honestly, it's sort of like, it is a bit of a slow burn. So I will say that. So although there are little bits here and there, and there's noises and there's stuff, and, you know, and she seems to be having a little bit of a breakdown, it is a bit of a slow burn. It is like a slow build to sort of like what's happened. But then as it sort of happens, it kind of happens quite sort of like succinctly, quite quickly, and as revelations start happening as to the dad and what happened to him, and the past, and what happened to Sadie, and what's happening in the future. And honestly, it did start picking up, and I did sort of like start getting into it. So then I was able to sort of finish it when I needed to. I will say though, you know how I feel. If anyone's ever watched videos or knows me or anything like that, you know how I feel about ambiguous endings. You know how I feel about what happened. Like this, like I'm paying you so I can read this information and you can tell me what happens. So I will say the ending does have a little bit of ambiguity, not a lot, and it is quite clear sort of like what has happened, but it is sort of like a little bit of, ooh, use your imagination, reader. I'm like, no, tell me. So that did kind of knock it down a little bit for me, because for me, sort of like, even if you're really enjoying the film, even the book, even if you're enjoying the characters, if the ending kind of leaves you going, oh, for God's sake, then that kind of takes away, because it's the last thing you know. It's like if you're eating a meal and that last bite is not great, that's what you remember from the meal. You don't remember like the whole bit of it. So that's the only thing that I would say is like, I mean, to be fair, you guys might read it or may have already read it and actually really like how it ends. And if you do so, please leave it below in the comments. Let me know if I'm just going a little bit crazy, because obviously I'm happy to discourse with you. But yeah, so I think it was well written. I think the characters were really good. You know, the way that they interacted, the way that it was like, is this a mental disorder? Is this not a mental disorder? Is this actually happening? Is it not actually happening? And then when you kind of get clarity and you go, huh, perfect. But yeah, so I would definitely recommend giving it a read. You know what I say, but like paperback, hardback, Kindle, library, audiobook, however you guys like to consume books, please do it in your own way, and leave below in the comments if you enjoy it. And also let me know if there's any other books that you think I should be reading. If there's a Malfi that I should read that you're like, absolutely, this will be the best Malfi book you've ever read, leave it below in the comments. I'm always happy for book recommendations. But thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you to continuously watching my videos each week, and remember to always keep it contento.